Alright, welcome to set number 4 of Team 8 versus KT Rolster. It is going to be a TVZ, C versus Action on ground 0. So C, I'm sure, very thankful to be facing a Zerg here. He's actually 3-2 against Zerg, a positive win ratio, even though he's 4-9 overall. And his team is also up 2-1, so you know, not a very high pressure situation for him. He's even checking his breath a little bit. He's like, he's just gonna try and cheese out Action here and then hop out of the booth and go on a date or something. I hope he at least changes his shirt first. If he goes on the date in that striped monstrosity, I'm gonna be very sad. But anyway, Action apparently decent at ZVT this season, 2-1 as well, although 3-6 overall. So both these players actually getting their best matchup here. So that's quite nice for them. And hopefully that means we get to see a decent game. Both these players kind of actually, you know, used to be quite good, and this season have been quite not good. Looks like Action might be a little bit sick there. Or he could just be going the Bisu route and preparing his excuse. C looks extremely bored. I would be a little bit more focused if I had such a bad win rate in Pro League. I don't know, maybe that's just me. But come on, dude, focus, focus. Anyway. So looks like we have a lot of downtime here in the beginning. I don't know what's going on. Oh, now we're doing the crowd shot. We're doing a little zoom, little flying over the crowd action. And here we go into game 4. T8 currently leads 2-1 over KT. Pretty interesting, but then again, I mean, oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is very interesting actually, because we're at set 4 already, and neither Flash nor Stats have played. So KT clearly doesn't actually care at all about this match. The KT coach is actually just going to put all of his, you know, less good players in. Look, we got Perfect Man, Barracks, Hoja, and Action. This is like exactly what I said in the beginning. I was like, yeah. I mean, you don't need to play Stats or Flash, you know. They got plenty of experience. Doesn't matter. Huh. Anyway, Action is the red Zerg here, bottom right. C will be the orange Terran at the top right. We will be in vertical positions, so Action's gonna have to be quite wary of getting his natural dropped. And there is that weird old guy. He's got to be a relative of one of the players or something. But I'm pretty sure the other, you know, old guy was Flash's dad. So I actually don't know who that is. Can anybody tell me who that is? Anybody? Anyway, Overlord is scouting vertically, so he'll be able to get a early scout off on C's base. C just gonna build barracks at the top of the ramp. Nothing cheesy coming out of him this time. Of course, the last time he played, he proxy raxed Roro and bunker rushed him out, which made me quite upset, because I do love Roro. But that's okay. Alright, somebody in the chat said that that's Action's dad. Could be, could be. He seems quite jolly compared to Flash's dad. Flash's dad seems like, you know, like one of those stereotypical grumpy old Asian men who's just like mad that Flash is playing video games right now and not studying for a test or something, I don't know. Or, I don't know, playing piano or whatever. Anyway, we do have a 12 hatch from Action, and C just gonna go scout it out with his first SCV. Gonna go in the correct direction. Oh, for a second there I thought he paused to make a bunker, but looks like decided not to. Or maybe the SCV just stopped there for a second. Either way, for a nice, calm macro opening for both players. It is going to be a 1-Rax expand from C, of course, since we don't see the gas yet. He is going to make a second Marine first, though, even though he saw the 12 hatch, which is quite interesting. Usually, as soon as you scout the 12 hatch, you build the command center as soon as possible. You don't need any Marines. You can actually expand. Is that Lomo? Wait, is that Lomo and... Who's the guy on the right? Wait a minute. Hold on. Can somebody tell me I'm not completely wrong? Anyway. 3-hatch build from Action. Was that actually Backo on the right? I thought it was Backo, but I wasn't sure. I was like, is that actually... It can't be. It can't be! I didn't recognize him because he wasn't wearing a dress, alright? It's not my fault. Whatever. So... Lomo and Backo, I'm sure, are just waiting to dance on stage with Jaedong again. And C looks like he wants to win with 4 Marines, Flash style. But then he sees some links out, he's like, oh, I guess Action's not terrible, so that's not going to work. So he walks back. I don't actually know if those links were even spotted. If the Overlord didn't even see them, then that little Marine maneuver was completely pointless. Well, I guess there's like 2 sides. So on the one hand, you can say that if the Overlord doesn't see them, you can get a free win, like what Flash did a couple of times by just attacking with 6 Marines, and then he doesn't have anything, and you win. But conversely, if you're not actually going to commit to the attack, you want the Overlord to see the Marines so that you scare the Zerg into making more Lings than he actually needs. Or at least force him to, make a creep colony or something. Either way, it looks like C's going to move out again, this time with something like 8 Marines. And nope! He's moving back, making a bunker. He's pretending. He's faking it. And moving in with the SCV is going to get denied. Not quite. Might want to block that. Oh no, I thought he might want to block it with a drone, but there's actually only 1 shot left. He is getting a sunk now at his natural just to be safe. And getting a spire, so 3-hatch Muta for Action here. C meanwhile has gone for the fast +1 build. You can see his engineering bay already blinking away, getting +1 attack for his Marines. And he's doing a bit of a SimCity here with that supply depot, going to make it a little bit more difficult for Lings to run into his base. So pretty passive opening so far. I mean, we'll get to see the mid and late game play for both of these players. I am kind of glad about that. C, when he's not busy cheesing out Roro, has actually been cheesed quite a few times himself, mainly by Protosses, those dirty little Protosses. So I would like to see his late game. Although he did play a long TVZ against Great, which was really sloppy. So I hope he can show us a better game than that. Action, on the other hand, I mean, he showed us a good game against Firebat Hero early on in the season. That was like in round 1. I mean, his late game ZVT used to be amazing. I don't know what happened. I really hope he can show us some of that amazing Defilo play again. In the meantime, we do see 5 barracks, and just starting the factory now for C. Pretty standard follow-up to the fast +1. You always go for 4 or 5 barracks, slam out a bunch of Marines, and put on some early pressure on the Zerg. Ideally, you want to put on enough pressure so that the Zerg has to use his mutas primarily for defense, and can't actually harass your base. So, a couple of turrets in the mineral lines there. It looks a little bit difficult to actually defend that natural against mutas. I mean, you have the cliff behind the minerals. It doesn't look like there's a lot of space there for turrets and potentially bunkers even. So it's a little bit inconvenient. And just in case you're thinking, Sayle, nobody makes bunkers at their natural against mutas. I would say go watch any TVZ on Destination, where like bunker behind your natural was standard because of how annoying that cliff was. Anyway, a bunch of Mutaling are out here. So he's got to be careful not to lose this initial group to a Mutaling attack, because that is a lot of Zerglings here. I think he actually might. Action just going to go for this now, microing the Mutas overhead, the Lings going in, adding a lot of DPS on the ground, and C's initial force here is going to get crushed. I don't even think Action lost a single Muta there. He might have lost 1 at most. Just lost all his Zerglings, but those are pretty cheap and expendable. So that was a pretty big win for Action there. C getting a little bit too brave with his Marine force. not realizing that Action had plenty of links to deal with it. I mean, I don't think that was actually even necessarily C's fault. It is the correct move to be aggressive with the initial Marine group. You do want the mutas, you do want to draw the mutas away from your base. But I don't know, maybe he could have like led with a SCV or something, like to check for that. I mean, yeah, it's just not a very nice situation for C. Although, ooh, looks like gonna catch the mutas a little bit here in the middle of the map. Get some free damage. And, well, he's moving down towards Action's natural once again. I don't know how far along Action's lurker tech is. Presumably he has gone for lurkers. Looks like he is morphing them at the bottom left base at his third. I hope he has at least a couple at his main. He's going to need them. Looks like he's got one ready and a few sunken colonies as well. I think that will be enough to hold this attack. Especially since he still has his mutas overhead, so he can help out with those. C looks like just kind of posturing at the natural, but I don't think he should really commit to the attack here. I don't think he has enough stuff to justify that. He's going to scan, though, just to see if he can. If he goes in now, that would be a terrible decision, I think. But Action is actually... Okay, look at this. Action has grouped 2 Scourge into the flock of Muta. He's going to go and try and snipe the first Science Vessel when it comes out. Of course, by grouping the Scourge with the Muta will be the ones tanking you know, the Marine and turret fire so that you can get the Scourge in. You basically escort the Scourge into kill the vessel. A technique known as Muta bombing or similar. Anyway, I think C probably noticed the Scourge there, so he's going to be a little bit careful with this first vessel. He's not just going to like rally it straight to the front. Meanwhile, he still has those Marines there, but they're not really going to do too much. I mean, they are kind of semi-containing Action, I guess. They are preventing, you know, like an easy link counterattack to his third, although there is still that bottom left hatchery. And in fact, the Nidus Canal already done, so they're actually not doing that much at all, to be honest. But it looks like Action not really even thinking about the counterattack there. So C will get his third up relatively safely here. Action could easily go over with the mutas and snipe the SCV at least, building that command center, but I don't think he realizes that it's going up. Meanwhile, C is sending three siege tanks, and the first vessel is going down completely undefended. I'm actually very surprised by this. C saw the mutas being very active around his natural. He must have known that Action was trying to get the snipe off, and yet still he just wandered down solo. I mean, he kind of took a slightly roundabout route along the left side, but still, that seems very dangerous. And looks like he's going for the break here. He's not going to wait for the siege tanks to bust everything down. He's just going in with the Marines. I don't know if that's the best decision, but it looks like it might be. Action, bringing his lurkers back from his third base here, realizes that he needs the lurkers to defend. Where are the mutas? I don't even know. C is breaking into the natural. Oh my god, they actually turned into Guardians here. Action went for Guardian Defiler. I was wondering, I was like, what the heck happened to his mutas? It looks like they've become Guardians, and it looks like he's going to grab the first vessel as well. Only 3 Marines left, so the Guardians will be good in the defense. Probably going to get a free siege tank here as well, but he's got to be very careful. The Guardians are standing over open ground. A lot of Marines coming in to reinforce. A few lurkers as well, and the Dark Swarm is out, and that's going to be it. C is actually just running into the natural here. Madness from C. Oh my god, C thought he could get behind the minerals lines, do a little bit more damage, but the lurkers slaughtered him on the way in. That was not the correct decision for C, but it was really close to call. I mean, I can't really blame C for that move, but still. Oh man, C is now in quite a bit of trouble. Actually going to get his 4th base up relatively easy here, basically for free. And, I mean, C's main army is crushed here. And these Guardians are going to be so annoying. Like, as you can see, the natural-to-natural distance is very, very short. The Guardians can just meander right over there. And C already does have a Wraith, but, you know, would much rather have a Vessel, I think. And it's only 2 Guardians, so it's not a huge investment for Action. Anyway, C is doing the pretty standard mid-game switch here. Oh my god, C actually just loses the Wraith instantly. Wow. That's not the best move. And looks like Action does have a Defiler and some lurkers ready at his 4th, so that is not gonna go down. Oh my god, that is a pretty big mistake. Wow, for Action to have had 2 Scourge there is pretty good foresight. That's actually quite nice. I'm actually pretty impressed by Action's play so far this game. C, however, it looks like he's being a little bit greedy here, taking a 4th base already at the 11:30ish base there. I mean, he doesn't even have like a huge presence on the map, but he's just going for it, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad idea. Action is kind of in this passive turtle-y mode, where he's just using lurkers and defilers to defend all his bases. So C doing the mech switch, getting a lot of bases up, and gonna kind of take a small risk here in the mid game and get a pretty nice advantage going into the late game. I mean, they're basically getting their 4th bases simultaneously, although C's natural is getting denied here. He's presumably making more vessels and wraiths to deal with that. So once he cleans up those guardians, he will be in very nice economic shape against Action. One thing to note, however, is that those 2 bases, his C's 3rd and 4th, are do have lower valued mineral patches and Vespene geysers than the the normal mains and naturals. So in the long term, he will mine those out quicker, but in the short term, he will get a pretty nice eco boost. Meanwhile, is doing some fancy Wraith Micro here. There's a couple of Scourge to help deal with that. Oh, and by fancy Wraith Micro, I mean not so good Wraith Micro. And man, my throat is getting really dry. Excuse me. Today's just not one of those days. Some days I'm on the ball, but not today. That's okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the same mindset as the teams, where because the match doesn't matter, you just kind of chilling. And whoa, plagued spider mines. That's pretty cool. Did you guys see? Look, those 3 spider mines are plagued. I wonder if the Zerg can actually see them, because of course a plague does reveal cloaked units like DTs or wraiths, but I don't actually know if it reveals burrowed spider mines. Wow, does anybody actually know? It's like one of those random Brood War trivia things. Now that I think about it, I actually have absolutely no idea. I would guess that it does not. I would guess that it doesn't reveal them. But, well, no, wait, no. No, maybe it does. No, maybe it does. Bwendrin says they are revealed, and he's a pretty knowledgeable guy, so I'm going to believe him. But that's pretty cool. That's quite cool. It's the way of the future, guys. Just plague spider mines and you're good to go. Anyway, C is adding on a bunch of turrets here at the 3 o'clock. Left some Marines there to stop any kind of drop onto his natural. And it looks like it is indeed going to be a drop here, even adding more turrets there at the natural itself. He's got a Valkyrie. Oh man, this drop could end really badly if C sees is coming. And C does notice, but so does Action. Action realizes that's probably not the best idea and pulls the Overlords back. He's got 1 Overlord sneaking up the left side. Is that actually a drop? Oh, it is indeed a Lurker drop. Going into the top left here, the SCVs are actually being transferred. The perfect timing from Action, and also doing a link counterattack into the 3rd base of C. A multi-pronged attack here. He's going to get so many SCVs with those Lurkers units moving in there, but the SCVs are already stacked. He must have gotten so many of those. It looks like 10 kills, double-digit kills on the Lurker. I think it was something like 10 kills. Meanwhile, Overlord's going in here. It looks like the drop was actually redirected towards the main base, but it does get intercepted halfway. So he is going to have to drop prematurely here. But it looks like he might be able to just take out the units here anyway. Spider Mine's just now being laid, not already in position. And Action is showing us some really nice late game ZVT here. Really actually punishing C's greed. Look at this. Ling's going to get a lot of kills here. The SCV is not even fighting or doing anything. I gotta say, this makes me really happy. This is like showing glimpses of Action's former glory here. Oh my god, that's gonna be huge! And look at this C. C just is not reacting very well at all. He's got all those units there at the top left. He just needs 1 scan and just can attack it. He's got a couple of siege tanks there. But Action putting on so much pressure here at the front that it looks like C just is being overwhelmed. He doesn't have the APM, the multitasking, to be able to deal with all these attacks at once. And Action on 4 bases is like taking down a 5-base Terran. That's right, C is actually on 5 bases, kind of. Obviously the top left is not mining anymore. But he does have 5 command centers at 5 expansion locations. I'm going to call those bases anyway. Looks like C trying to do this Valkyrie switch, and look at this Lurker drop here at the 3rd. C's transferred more SCVs to the base with Lurkers. Why? Why, C? There's 27 kills between those 2 Lurkers. I don't understand. Why would you send SCVs there when there's Lurkers there? But why? Oh my god, C. See, he saw those too. Like, he must have forgot or something. Like, C's memory's deteriorated, like, even worse than mine. Oh, man, dude. Dude. And now Hydra's going into the 4th base, like, C is getting every single base harassed simultaneously here. I can't believe... And look, he's going to transfer them back! Why? Stop! No! Don't send more SCVs to that expansion. Like, the Lings are trying to tell you not to go there. Okay, he cleaned it up with tanks. Oh, thank God. I swear to God, if he just transferred those SCVs and without killing those lurkers... But, I mean, I think the damage has already been done. C is in so much trouble here. Like, Action, and I think this is a really good idea by Action, you know? A lot of times Zergs will play really passively and just, like, let the Terran get his mech army up, let him take his expansions. And that's just not a really good way to play, because once you get to the late game, where the Terran has, like, you know, 50 siege tanks and spider mines everywhere, it is so ridiculously hard to play that game. Even if you have all the bases that you want, even if you have, you know, your Ultra Tech or whatever, it is ridiculously hard to play against, like, a solid mech late game TVZ. So for Action to be doing all this aggressive stuff now, like before C's mech kind of gets off the ground, I think this is a fantastic strategic choice. I mean, in low numbers, a mech army is really not actually cost effective against Zerg. You really need like a decent number, a decent core of siege tanks. And oh my God, he's moving in with the Valkyries. He's gonna kind of catch the drop as it goes in. Looks like this drop of Action will be like the first drop that's actually not effective, which is you know, definitely saying a lot for Action here, but he's just going to go in with a ground army anyways, like, okay, screw Overlords. Let me just walk my Ultra Ling into your base here, and GG from C! Action dominating C here in a long TVZ. I am so impressed with Action right now. I am really pleasantly surprised. Wow. Fantastic job from Action here. And it looks like Action also forgot to grab one of the lottery balls. And we will be going to a Game 5, guys. Teammate versus KT. It's coming down to the wire. Of course, it's not exactly, you know, a high pressure situation. Action looking silly, looking goofy as always. Our beloved Mafia boss. But huh. I hope we can at least see some good players in Game 5. I don't want to see another random rookie.